Welcome. This is My Favorite Mortgage Podcast, and I am Jaimie Booth, a licensed loan officer here in the sunny state of Arizona, and we want to thank you for joining us. Today we've got a very special guest, a realtor that I met when I first moved to Arizona, and I want to just say thank you for coming. We have Tony Ray Baker.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
You have a good memory. Better than me. Please tell that story.
You know why? Because I'll never forget it. I don't know. I mean, let me tell you the story about how we met.
Okay.
This was 2017, maybe?
Okay. That's not long ago. That's not long.
Well, it feels like ages.
can't
We went through
remember
a whole
yesterday.
global pandemic in between.
Yes. And I can't remember yesterday, so we're good.
Me neither. But for whatever reason, this memory stays with me because I was still at bank lending. So I was working for BBVA.
Yep. Miss them.
And there was a client that I had met through the bank, and I had pre-approved her. And it was time for her to go out and start house hunting, and you were her realtor. And I was at Speedway and Wilmot Branch in the office, and all of a sudden, this man comes in and says, "Who is Jaimie?" Who is Jaimie? And you had my pre-approval letter in your hand. You were asking the tellers you were a regular.
Yeah.
They all know who you were. And they're like, that's her. And you go, "You are working with my client, and I don't use bank lenders." How the hell did you get this client not to switch? And I'll never forget you going, "Who is Jaimie?" Do you remember that at all?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. And you came and sat at the office, and
Yeah.
you were like, "I don't use, so this is your chance."
My goal was to get you to prove to me we were going to go forward. Yeah. Because
Yep.
every single time we had a bank lender, it all fell apart because they did not know what they were doing.
Yeah.
They would go on pregnancy leave and leave the file sitting on a desk while we were trying to close.
Right.
It was one problem after another with bank lenders back then. It was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was adamant to protect her
Yes.
from you.
Yes. Yes.
Not knowing you.
That was a tough sell.
You did
and
great. You convinced me when I left that office to stay with you and not talk her out of it.
Aw.
Yeah. You did great because I did not. I went back and said, she's amazing.
Aw.
So
So you do remember the day we
Yep,
met.
I do remember.
Yeah.
Now we have an anniversary we need to look up.
I know. I'm not at a bank anymore because you were right. I was unaware. I had lived in a bank branch atmosphere for my whole career that I just thought it was normal to not close on time and have underwriters, never respond back, and, no weekends or holidays. That was just what I thought was normal.
Right. And no, the bank loan officers aren't taught or trained how it affects every person inside the entire transaction. Buyers have moving trucks and sellers are planning to leave and timelines aren't being met. It's a mess for everyone.
Right.
Take us out of the equation, the real estate agent, it's a mess for everyone else.
Yeah.
I mean, title people have to change dates. I mean, there's just such a mess.
Redrawing docs,
Oh, my God.
re-signing. So I made the move out years ago, and I'll never go back.
And I supported you.
Yes. and then you had an open house for an Airbnb, and it was like a week before we were shut down for COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to get into that. That's how my art gallery was. It kind of evolved into an art gallery.
That
Airbnb.
house?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You want to
I
go
had
there?
yeah. Well, I remember it was so eclectic anyway, and it was so unique, and the view of downtown Tucson was stunning. I didn't know that was the gallery.
So that started our gallery in a very fun way. We had originally decided to decorate the whole Airbnb with local art and as much local furnishings as possible.
Nice.
And so we went out and started meeting artists. And so the whole Airbnb was done by art from local artists. And you were invited to their party. All of those artists were invited to see the Airbnb.
Yes.
Fast forward a little later, we are approached by an amazing lady named Crystal who says, help me with this project downtown Tucson. We need to bring retail. And I've got this idea to chop up the proper restaurant into small spaces for rent for retailers, and it would get retail in downtown. Which is a prime block. It's right across the street from Playground and from Congress.
Okay, I know exactly where that's at. Yes.
And we, of course, laughed and said, that's funny. You know, we're real estate, not retail.
Gallery owners.
What are we talking about? And then a little wine later, I mean a glass of wine, not whining. Well, a little wine later, we ended up the next day waking up thinking, oh my gosh, we have all these artist friends who aren't making a lot of money. And one of the reasons is they're very creative they're not left-brained. And to keep them in their right mind, which is creativity, we could build a whole business for them. And we could make a little mini art gallery in downtown Tucson and support these local artists. And we'll take all their artwork, sell the originals, and also turn all those originals into products.
And prints. And
every size of print. So And then the secondary component was, and now make art accessible and affordable to the public versus a stodgy art gallery where you walk in and they give you the look like, what are you wearing? Yeah. So no more Pretty Women crap. We literally said everybody deserves art, and so let's make art affordable. So from down to children, so kids could get little stickers of the art,
I love that.
Greeting cards, whatever it is that they could get hold of. So that's how that gallery started. We just passed our second year, and it's been phenomenal what it gives back, way more than I ever expected that it gives back. To me, it gives back. Like the beautiful stories that I'm approached with from men and women who come to me and tell me something about how art inspired them in some way or changed their lives. It's so phenomenal. So, yeah.
And then they're no longer starving artists. They're actually selling their work, making a living.
We're trying really hard to get none of these guys were starving in the first place. These are amazing artists. We've got some top mural artists, the state award-winning artists, and they do well. But now it's fun we're moving into a space where all their stuff is online. There's thousands of pieces in the online website, and these guys are, they're making money from selling stuff online and in the gallery space. It's really fun watching that grow. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So
what an exciting thing to do.
Yeah. It is. It's so cool. It's called the Tucson Gallery.
Tucson Gallery, guys. It's in downtown Tucson. And I'm sure, like you said, there's a website.
Yep, the TucsonGallery.com.
There you go.
We've done a lot of real estate agent parties where the real estate agents get to come down. The top producers came in and did a party.
So, is that the real producers?
Real producers,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's fun because they can buy local art or give gift cards to their clients and stuff like that. Yeah, it's very cool.
Well, thank you for that. I actually did have, let's touch on the art gallery. So thank you for bringing that up. We here like to start off our podcast before we get into the mortgage part with some dad jokes. Are you up for it?
Hit me.
Okay. The goal is to get him to snort.
Oh, dear.
Okay. What is the difference between a hippo and a Zippo?
Z, I don't know.
One is a heavy animal, and the other's a little lighter.
I love it.
What does a basketball player, since we are in the middle of March Madness, right? What does a basketball player say when he misses a shot?
I don't know.
Shoot.
I would have said something else.
I should have warned you. These are really corny. Really.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm breathing through this.
Okay, last one. What do you have if you've lost 25% of your roof?
I don't know.
Oof.
Oof. At least I get it. I was worried I wasn't going to get some of these. I feel better now, but I didn't snort. We're good.
No. Dang it. He won. And I always look to Joe to go, did he laugh? Okay. An oof. So, Tony Ray, I got to say something funny. You're like a musician or someone famous where we have to say your whole name. You're not just Tony, and you're not just Tony Ray. Everyone goes, Tony Ray Baker.
I didn't know that.
Everyone, if I'm like, hey, we're doing an AI class with Tony Ray Baker. Oh, yeah, I love Tony Ray Baker. It just is, we have to say your whole name.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
You did not know that.
I thought everybody just called me Tony Ray.
No, we have to say your whole name.
A lot of people call me and say, Mr. Ray. And no, that's not my last name.
Baker. Mr. Baker?
Yeah.
Tony Ray Baker.
Tony Ray.
So, yeah, you should have probably been like a movie star or something. 'Cause it's just fun to say.
It is a hillbilly sounding name for me. I kind of feel redneck about it.
Really?
Tony Ray.
Tony Ray. I think it sounds famous.
We're very Italian. My whole family is hundreds of years of Italy. And so I have 100 years of birth certificates, which is pretty cool. But my grandfather was Anthony. My other grandfather was Raimundo. So my mom decided I was Tony Ray.
Oh, the nicknames from both of them.
Yeah, so that's how I got that. And then I was adopted by a German man who I just loved and adored before he passed away. He was an amazing man, and his last name was Baker. So I got Tony Ray Baker. So you would never know I was Italian.
No. No. What was your mother's maiden name?
DeSico, Perselli. Yeah, we're in that line. Yeah.
Did they come through Ellis Island?
Yeah. See, that's why everybody's names are Tony. Because it was, when they were stamped, it was T-O New York to New York, Tony.
He almost got me on that one. He almost got me on that one.
Yeah, to New York, Tony. All Italians were like sent to New York. You're welcome. Oh. My own dad jokes, I make them up now.
There you go. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I'll be back next week.
So I've known you for a long time. But how long?
I can only apologize so much. Sorry.
Oh, how long have you actually been a realtor? He's going to age himself.
Yeah. I started when I was 15, just to be clear. No, 31 years this year.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, 31 years, yeah.
And what got you into real estate?
Mom. Yeah.
Mom. Was she a realtor as well?
No.
No. She just liked houses?
No, no. I literally, I was in school for my 8th year of college. Because I love school. I'm still going to school every year. Like, I've never left school. So I was in my 8th year of college. I was studying architecture, design, and psychology and law. And I was working
Not
jobs.
a small bill.
Yeah, and I was working jobs that were all commission-based pay. And I was top salesperson in every job I worked because I was really good at assessing what somebody needed and fitting them into that versus trying to sell them something they didn't need.
Right.
So I was known for
that.
electronics and stuff like that in that industry. I was known for the guy who could set you up with the best stereo system. So one day my mom says to me, you're just a student in life. And she said,
forever student.
Yeah, you need to stop.
Oh.
She goes, why don't you become a real estate agent like your Aunt Frankie? She sells trailers over, I'm not kidding, with trailers, not even ground set. She sells trailers.
Mobile homes.
Yeah, this is in 1994, and she's making $300,000 a year. Selling trailers. And my mom says, why don't you, you're a great salesperson. So she says, and you love all these different parts of real estate. And I said, what are you talking about? I'm studying all these. That's not, she goes, think about it. You should be a realtor. So she leaves me, and I think she's smoking something funny for the first time. I'm like, what the heck is wrong with my mother? And I woke up the next morning. I have a really good paying job at this time. I woke up the next morning, and I thought, oh my God, she's right again.
Aren't we always?
Yeah, I knew she was a connection because of all those 4 components were all part of real estate.
Law, architecture.
Design,
yeah.
Psychology. Talking people down.
Absolutely, the psychology.
Yeah.
I have a novice therapy degree.
Yeah.
Like, we just have to. We're the shoulder to cry on. We're through the happy parts. We're through the
pep
stressful.
them up, bring them down, level them out.
Yes.
We got to help.
Here's reality.
That's our job, yeah.
The pool does not need a heater in Arizona. I love you.
Yeah, so that's how I ended up like a silly fool, I quit my job literally the next day. I was making $80K a year in the 90s. And so I quit my job.
That was a lot of money
Yeah.
for the younger folks.
By the way, I had no savings account. It was because I'm spending it all on school. And so I have no savings account, and I quit my job, which was phenomenal. And so smack ramen, 10 for $1, I'll never forget, became my favorite food.
Yeah.
Every day, that's what I ate. Went to school for 2 weeks on the fast track at Hogan,
Okay.
and then zoomed into the state and federal testing all after the day after I got out of Hogan. Like, I had that planned out. Just click, click, click.
It was fresh. Just go get
fresh,
the
get
test.
it done. Took
Yes.
the test, aced it. Like, walked out the door, and lady goes, "Can't tell you the score, but I've never seen that one so high." And I'm like, yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I walked out, and I was like Melanie Griffith on Working Girl. Oh, yes, I have a career now, and I'm spinning around in the cubicle in my chair at the real estate company because everybody wanted to hire me, you know, because that's how they are. They all want my money, but I didn't know that. I thought they all wanted me. And so I'm all doing the Melanie Griffith, thinking I'm all badass that morning. Oh, I cussed, sorry.
Got the new haircut.
And then
yeah.
I'm all sitting on the desk in this little cubicle, which was popular back then. And about 10 minutes later, I hit that low. Oh, God, now what?
There's no money coming in.
There's no money coming in. No one taught me what to do after this point. And all I have is a desk and a chair and a phone. So
There was no internet.
I went home very dejected.
No Zillow leads coming in.
There was no fax machines. There was no pagers. There was no cell phones. There was no anything. A person brought us a piece of paper every morning and said, "Here, there's a new house on the market." And we all fought for the piece of paper.
Wow.
Yeah. Secretary had to calm us down. She had to make those remember those copies that were...
The carbon copies. And your fingers would get all black.
Yeah, and they disappeared after they hit the sun for a week. You're like, what house was I looking at? With your little book. We had a book and had to drive around with this big book and map it out on township range and section.
On an actual map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there was no fancy key boxes. It was a mess. Yeah. It took one
But you
client.
survived.
Yeah, one client. It took a week to show like 5 houses to one client. Like to
Wow.
get the keys and all. It was a mess. Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now all that technology has evolved
Yeah,
and you
little
are
bit.
teaching AI to real estate professionals now.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit more about that. AI's definitely evolved in the last few years. I use it religiously. How are you teaching realtors? What are you using it for?
Everything. Every
Everything.
day, all day. Yeah. It's so this started for me because I'm a nerd.
No.
Yeah. I'm a little bit on the crazy side I started my whole business like working on fitting the business into my lifestyle. So I literally planned out my vacations before I even had my first sale.
Yeah.
And then, and I scheduled my work week out to be Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, no weekends, no nights. I mean, I was scheduling myself out, planning my business. And
No weekends, no nights in real estate?
still that way.
Oh my God.
30 years, no weekends and nights, unless it's a real special client coming into town. Well, of course, we take care of them, but I don't usually work nights and weekends in real estate. Never have. So,
for you.
yeah, it's all
Yeah.
planning. But
Great work-life balance.
yeah, and then so I just started that path of planning, and that allowed me to do really fun things. Like when my nerd came out, when the internet was invented, I was one of the first websites out of the chute. Like I built my own website. I bought HTML code for dummies. I'm very proud of that book. And like a nerd, I read it from cover to cover. I was so
my gosh.
fascinated with code. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, like learning Spanish for me. And I was learning HTML code. Built my first website, launched it. It started bringing in clients, which is totally cool.
Yeah.
Back then, no one had one, so I was one of the first. And
Yeah.
then,
Pioneer.
and then AI comes along. And AI just, the minute I saw... Well, we all have this. We all have a phone.
Right,
So we've
right.
all been using AI since Siri and Google and Alexa, that even before. We've all been using it for a very long time.
Good point.
Whether you adopted it or
Right.
like I started with Siri right away. AI. It was my first AI assistant in the car. The minute it came out, I looked for a vehicle that would connect, so that I could be driving and say, "Hey Siri, do this," and "Hey Siri, do that." I'm watching my phone.
She's gonna hear you.
We'll put that down. So I was listening and talking to Siri and making sure that was doing the heavy lifting for me while I was driving.
You were getting so much done.
Yeah, because I could be driving,
Yeah.
I could listen to my text messages, then plan out my meetings, put them on the calendar, have Siri make text messages back, have Siri make phone calls for me. Everything was great. I did have one hiccup with it one time.
What happened?
Yeah, I was at Broadway Alvernon right by the mall. So this,
Okay.
never forget.
Elcon.
Yeah, and I'm picking up a couple. They're 85 and 90. They're coming in to buy a house. They've landed. They're in their hotel. And I get a message from the couple on text. And I say, "Hey, read me my message, Siri." And so over the speakers, it says, "Tony Ray, we're looking forward to meeting you. We're here. Everything's good. See you in a little bit." And I said, and Siri says, "Do you want me to respond?" I said, "Yeah." So it does its little thing, and I said, "Can't wait to see you." And it goes, whoop. I'm like, "Oh crap, it didn't read the message back. That's weird," because it always reads the message. "Do you want me to send?" I'm like, "Okay, well, Siri and I are like, we're in love. We know each other.
Yeah,
So
she's your buddy.
We're good." And so all of a sudden, I get another message, and I said, "Hey, read that text message, Siri." And I get, "That's the best offer we've had in a long time." So I don't know what I just offered them. I'm like, holy crap, in a panic. So I pull into Elcon Mall. I stop that car. I grab the phone across the seat because my policy was it had to stay in the right door pocket.
Oh, yeah.
So I couldn't touch it. And so I got the phone and I read it. And it says, what I've written to them is, "Can't wait to sex you up."
Oh my God.
And they wrote back, "That's the best offer we've had in a long time."
Oh my gosh.
And so I called, and he answers the phone, and she's crying in the background. Like, you could hear her laughing so hard.
She's peeing her pants.
Yeah. And I'm mortified, but they're laughing so hard. I knew we were best friends. Like, it was, okay, this is the best people ever. So,
wow.
Yeah. So Siri got me once, and now I pay very close attention.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know, we've all kind of made those little, one time I was responding back to an underwriter. And it was a guy, and I was doing my talk to text, and I was either saying something like, "Yeah, that's great," or something like that, and it caught, "Hey babe," or something like that, and I called my underwriter babe, and he called, and I'm like, "Holy shit, sorry, it's not, I didn't mean that." He goes, "Oh no. Now you have to call me that forever."
Yeah. Or I'll be insulted and sad.
And I'm like, "Will that make you approve all of my loans?"
Right. That's the way to work it.
But yeah, I called an underwriter babe.
I love it. Yeah. So AI. So flash forward here. We've all been using AI. I just am an early adopter because I see squirrels everywhere and I want to put them all in the box and play. So that's just me. And the reason I can do that is because I have made I've set my business up to be very carefully crafted that I can have the time. So I get 10, 12, 15 hours a week to play. Besides that, I don't work nights and weekends I'm real estate. And so the playtime for me is learning that kind of new stuff. So I just adapted to the minute GPT was live, I was on it. Mm-hmm. And I had the privilege of jumped into prompt engineering school with Devin McPaul, who's an absolute amazing prompt engineer in the hunt world, I'll tell you. And Devin, I did 8 hours of school. I got certified to be a prompt engineer with them.
Wow.
No need.
Forever student.
No reason to do that except I'm a nerd. And so then I got that done. I wrote my first GPT, which you're only allowed 10,000 characters or something like that. And I maxed out that one. But I created my first GPT. I give that away to realtors for free now. It's amazing. It does a great job.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what that is? A GPT for realtors.
Okay, so ChatGPT allows you to make your own, we'll call them inside apps, right? Inside of ChatGPT, if you look at the extra apps, the GPTs, there's all kinds of other apps you can look at. One of them for real estate agents is very fun. It's called InVideo, which is a cool app. And Tony Ray's little marketing helper is in there as well. So
Is that the paid version? You got to do the paid version?
I'm not sure if you can look at GPTs in there's a plus version for $20.
Yeah, it keeps wanting me to
so
upgrade to plus, and
the one AI that you will always need and should always pay for is the GPT plus. That's the one, because it's
okay. That's a good recommendation.
It's the most phenomenal of all the LLMs, and it's
$20 a month,
and it's a wide variety. It does a crazy amount of things for you. And then there's others that I pop in and out of. I have a long list that I'll be giving out at our thing coming up. But so I created my own app within the GPT just so you can recognize.
Did you get paid for that?
No, I made it for me.
Oh, okay.
So I made it for my team. So when listings come in, I have 5 listings going on the market in the morning, tomorrow morning, 5 of them. So when they come in like that, I have to schedule. I deal with trusts and probate a lot.
Okay.
So I'm dealing with managing teams of people, not only the regular team, but the teams that are painting the house, laying floor tile, cleaning it up, getting it ready, trustees, corporate trustee banks. These folks are all involved. And so I'm managing a lot of people for that. And so one of the things that I wanted to take off my plate was the marketing fluff, like all that stuff we have to write.
Yes.
Because I thought I could teach GPT who Tony Ray is, which I did. So it knows me very well. And now I can use my little marketing helper, and I just put in the address of the property, and it'll zip out all my marketing pages of stuff to put on social media, websites, MLS descriptions. It pumps it out. Sounds like me. It knows fair housing laws because I've trained it to read those every day. So it does fun stuff.
So you touched on something you're going to do June 3rd.
Is it June 3rd? Yes.
I hope it's June 3rd. I had it in my notes.
I don't know. I don't know what happened
What
yesterday.
is happening? I'm so excited. June 3rd.
We're going to workshop AI, real estate in Tucson, which is going to be super fun. Yeah. And so the Tucson Association of Realtors charity did an event recently, and when it came to my attention, that I could be involved in that in another way and help raise some money for that charity. Yes. So I said, let's get everybody to make donations, and whoever donates, then I'll teach them AI as much as I can in a 3-hour period. We'll sit down and we'll workshop it.
Yeah. So I'm a board member of the Realtors Charitable Foundation, and it was the appreciation event.
Yes.
Where we did a Mardi Gras thing.
And I was the silly host on with Darren Jones. That was a bad thing to put us up there together.
Oh my gosh, no, it's the best because you keep everyone entertained for sure. But there's a minimum. We're looking for a minimum donation of $20.
Yeah,
you want to give more, please. We really do need to fundraise because every bit of your donation is going to go to local charities here in Southern Arizona, and we're going to put the link down below where you can donate. If you donate $20 or more, you're going to be able to get exclusive training from international speaker Tony Ray Baker on AI and how it's going to improve your life. And 3 hours worth of training for
fun.
$20 minimum is worth $1,000. Now, we'll take $1,000 donation any day.
That'd be awesome.
You can register here. It is going to be seating limited. Yeah. So this goes out to, and I would say not even just real estate. Like mortgage people, title people, we could be using this too, and we really should be learning more about it.
Yes, it works for all small business.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a bunch of small business already donating. I think that at the event they were donating to come in.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah. Our foundation likes to give away every single quarter. We're giving to other charities $12,500.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, Habitat for Humanity, the Children's Museum, you name it, that's a local charity. We're realtors are so generous with that, and we're able to give back. All right, we are coming to an end. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you have fun?
I had a blast. I always have a blast with him.
Snort.
You know what was funny? Do you remember we were camper twins?
Yeah, we were camper twins for a while. Yes.
We had the same camper.
Yep.
I sold mine. Did you sell
I
yours?
sold mine. I
Yeah.
leveled up to a 36-foot penthouse on wheels.
But we both had bought, and this is just our eclectic taste. We got these retro looking campers.
Yep.
Mine was turquoise and white. Yours was
Red and white. And they're so cute.
They had the checkered floor. It looks like a 1950s, but it was brand new.
Really nice, yeah.
So beautiful. Yeah, camping and don't do it as much as I wanted to.
I'm still in I love it. Take the dogs and get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy life.
It was costing me more. It was a liability. I love camping, but yeah. All right. Before we go, any last words of advice or words of wisdom in our 2025 housing market?
For realtors, I would say systems and planning. Plan out your life. Put your business in it. I just start with what do you want and bring the business into that. And then systems follow. Systems get you there. So
Right.
every week I'm working on new systems to make us more efficient, to make us have more time. It's just systems.
And you have a team. So if you're
A small team. I have a Danny buyer's agent, a Darren buyer's agent, and then I have Beth, who's my assistant of 30 years.
Ooh, that's your transaction coordinator, assistant, everything.
Assistant extraordinaire. Yeah.
Nice.
Even pays all the bills. I've never written a check in 30 years.
Who writes checks?
I don't pay the bills. I guess those are gone now. So no wonder
have
I
a
don't write them.
that I had since 2007.
Oh, I'm sure we have one somewhere.
Well, thank you again to Tony Ray for coming on My Favorite Mortgage podcast. We're going to provide all of his links below if you want to get in touch with just a fabulous, fabulous realtor here in Southern Arizona. We are also streaming on all major platforms. So realtors, business partners out there, if you have any questions on AI, please like this video, share it. Give us a comment on if you're able to attend on June 3rd. We'd really appreciate a follow. And let's see, anything else?
Join our Facebook group. We'll put that in the link.
Okay.
It's an AI learning group.
Ooh, I love
We
that.
collaborate.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that information will all be provided for you down below. Tony, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hope you have a great weekend.
You too. It's been a blast.
Thanks. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.